Hello guys, this is Frozgard again, and I'm gonna be doing the audio commentary about Orc Mirror. This audio commentary is copyrighted 2006 to WCReplays.com. And this Orc Mirror audio commentary is gonna consist in two parts. First part is gonna be a game between Fnatic Rotterdam and Ciara that was played in the ESWC, so why don't you get replay 1 loaded up and pause at the 1 minute mark. And the second replay is gonna be on one of my own games. So if you don't want to see like, well, I don't know, it's like, I'd say I'm around level 35 on a good day. If you don't want to see like such a player playing, then I mean, just stop the audio at that point. Anyway, so yeah, let's get this replay started. So replay number 1 between Fnatic Rotterdam and Ciara at the 1 minute mark on Turtle Rock. So let's start in 3, 2, 1, unpause. Now, the first thing to note is that Rotterdam goes for an early war mill, and you will see later why he does. The other thing is that on Orc Mirror, generally nowadays the standard tech is to fast tech, get Kodos, and get a Fire Lord at tier 2, do a push, prevent the other guy from getting his bestiary up, then get Kodos, and then own the other guy like that. And it's usually quite fast paced, not that much creeping going on, until there's a stalemate in the army composition and both people actually can't really attack the other guy, and you just want to get advantage through hero levels. So the thing to note here is that Ciara is able to attack faster because he didn't build a war mill early on, so they didn't lose the wood harvested by that peon who was building the war mill. But the tech difference is quite small. Now, the next thing you usually want to put up is a burr, like Ciara does, and then, as soon as you have 50 wood, put up the barracks. Actually, Rotterdam does it the other way around. He puts first up the barracks, and then he's gonna put up the burr a bit later, which, in my opinion, is not a good idea, because if you happen to be close spawn, your second burr is gonna be cancelled by the Farseer. So, right now, the Farseer battle, which is that you send the wolves after the Farseer and the Farseer runs away. Why? Well, because you only have one unit that starts. You only have the Farseer, and you don't have any other units. You don't have grunts, you don't have headhunters or nothing. So if the Farseer gets low, then you will be in a really bad position. And it's also quite important because at tier 2, then when the Fire Lord comes out, if your Farseer is at low HP, then the other guy will be able to push into your base much more easily. So right now Rotterdam is inside his own base, and Ciara is having the advantage on the the initiative, because he can actually harass Rotterdam, and Rotterdam has a hero level which is lower, hero HP which is lower. But the other thing is that he did his war mill earlier, so he already has a headhunter, and he can start picking up wolves. He's building his shop right now, which is quite important. Well, I mean, like, some people prefer to wait a bit to get the shop, but if your hero gets low at the start, then it's usually a good idea to get the shop early. Right now they are arriving tier 2, so the battle is gonna go next to the tavern and where the Fire Lord is gonna come out. So whoever gains the initiative on the tavern will gain the right to push into the other guy's base and delay the other guy's tier 2 buildings. Right now you will notice something a bit strange, in that you don't see a bestiary going up at Ciara's side, and you don't see any tier 2 building going up at Rotterdam's side. You only see the Spirit Lodge going up. The reason why Rotterdam is not putting up anything up yet is because, well, his Fire Lord was a bit late, so he knew that Ciara was gonna come hit his base and that he didn't have the initiative, so he didn't want to have to cancel a building directly. So he waits until the push is over, until he has his own Fire Lord to put up his own Spirit Lodge. So again, he only puts up a Spirit Lodge, he doesn't put up a Bestiary, and he only gets a lot more Headhunters. Now, why Headhunters? This is a question of counters to counters to counters. First of all, the standard Orc unit is a Grunt. And what counters that very well? Well, Kodos. And that's actually the reason why people have been going fast upgrade to Kodos, and then fast upgrade to tier 2, and then mass Koders. Well, mass Koders, I mean, it's like as many Kodos as the other guy has Grunts or Raiders. And, well, then the thing is, what counters Kodos? Well, Kodos are countered by piercing damage and by siege damage, so you have the option of building Demolishers or of building Headhunters. The good thing about Demolishers is that you can also use them to siege a base, and they also do a decent amount of damage against other units, like for example Walkers, Spirit Walkers, or Shamans, or I don't know, any kind of casters. The bad thing about it is that it's very slow. And so the other counter is piercing, and which piercing unit does Orc have? Well, Headhunters. And so this is like meta game. It's they are using Headhunters because they cannot use Kodos, because Kodos are countered pretty badly by Headhunters. If somebody of them had like started off with a few Grunts, then the other one could have started with a few Kodos as well, and could have done a mix of Kodos Headhunters. But using Kodos against pure Headhunters is a bad idea, and it's really not worth it. Right, back to the action on the screen. So, what you did notice was that Rotterdam did a very aggressive move in creeping out the Goblin Merchant that's actually on Ciara's side, so that was really something pretty risky, but it definitely paid off because he got the Watcher Ward, and he also got the item, which was a Ring of Regeneration, and that is actually something which is pretty useful in this matchup, where oftentimes you will focus on the heroes, because well, the heroes don't have that much HP, and you will not have that much of a front line without Grunts and Raiders, so the heroes are gonna be pretty much in the front line. Right, so the army composition, as you can see, is gonna be Headhunters and Spirit Walkers. Now, Headhunters do something like 10 damage per second. I mean, they do 23 to 27, which is actually pretty good, but they have a cooldown of 231 seconds, so they attack pretty slowly. So they have like about 10 damage per second, which is decent, but Demolishers have about 17 damage per second, even though they attack even much slower. So what one of them could have done is go to Demolishers at this stage of the game. Oh, that was very close. Sorry. I was just looking at the lower Goblin Merchant, where Ciara tried to get a last hit on the Ogre, but he didn't. It was just too late. Yeah, so where was I? So yeah, actually, Demolishers have a higher DPS. I mean, that's like not very surprising, since they're a 4-food unit. But then again, they only give experience of a 2-food unit, so... Well, I mean, they take up a lot more space, but they don't give that much more experience, and they're not too expensive. I mean, they're way more expensive than Headhunters, but they're not too expensive. Another creep check here. You see that contrary to what normally happens in Orc Mirror, there's like all this like only focus fire with Headhunters. And of course that's what you want to do, and that's actually where Spirit Lane comes in very useful, because you are able to distribute the damage even though the other guy focus fires a lot. And right now it doesn't look too good for Rotterdam. He probably will have to back off at this point. He's bringing in his... I don't even know like who it was who had the... whatchamacallit, the lightning shield. Oh, it was probably Ciara. Yeah, it had to be Ciara because Rotterdam hasn't crapped any of those spots. So that was pretty good use of lightning shield. Because the thing is, this time actually in this version of the Orc Mirror, all the units have low hit points, and hence AOE damage like lightning shield, like chain lightning, and actually the Fire Lord's burn thing. No, not the burn thingy, but oh, what is it called? The thingy where the passive, well, what used to be a passive and what is now an active. Incinerate, exactly, Incinerate. Incinerate is actually pretty good because there's lots of low HP units, so all these things that you might usually only see against human players or maybe night elf players who have lots of archers are going to be useful in this matchup. Okay, so I was on my tangent there about demolishers and headhunters and comparing them. And actually the thing is that, yeah, I was saying that one of the players would have the possibility to switch to demolishers, but the problem of demolishers, in addition to being a 4-foot unit, is that they are really slow. And hence you lose mobility, and since the two players are on opposite spawns of the map, you need mobility to get around the map. And you need mobility in order to attack, to defend your base, to go creep, and all that kind of good stuff. So if you make demolishers and the other guy doesn't, and your army is always going to be much slower than his army, well then you will have a big disadvantage because you will not be able to move around the map quite as fast, or at least not be able to fight with your whole army together. And if you look at Rotterdam's base right now, oh, yeah, it's a bit too late already. The headhunter has already died, but you see that Ciara did take Incinerate on his Fire Lord. Right now, the very strange battle for an Orc Mirror, where it's all about low hit point units, about heal scrolls, and Ciara has already used one heal scroll. He will use the second one right now, and he's probably trying to see whether he can end the game right now, but doesn't look too good. I mean, he brought all his peons, but Rotterdam also brought some peons, and he also had a heal scroll, so he was able to heal up his units a bit. And the big difference is also that... No, actually, no, it doesn't make a difference, because both Farseers... No, what am I saying? It's like, at least Rotterdam's Farseer, I think, took level 2 Chain Lightning over level 2 Wolves. But, so since he was level 4, he had a higher hero level advantage and was able to push him back. And now the bad thing about peons in battle is that if you try to leave the battle without a heal scroll, speed scroll, they're gonna die and give the other guy experience. So right now, how does it look? Well, advantage Rotterdam, but Ciara has started an expansion. So if he gets the expansion through, it will be very good for him. If he doesn't, then well, then Rotterdam will just use his hero advantage and unit advantage to win the game. Big other difference at this point is the items. You will see that Rotterdam has a Robe of the Magi and has 2 Rings of Regeneration. Actually, the Rings of Regeneration do stack, so it is useful to have both of them on one hero, even though I don't know, I mean, it's like having one on each hero would also be useful. And on the other hand, Ciara doesn't have that much of... Well, that doesn't have such a nice item as the Robe of the Magi. Why is the Robe of the Magi important? Well, it will let Rotterdam spam a lot more chain lightnings, and that is very important because, as I said, there's lots of low HP units. So right now Ciara is attacking again because he